Good people, good people, good people. Welcome back to the Gumtown Podcast, episode 226. I'm Doug B. If you tuned in to this podcast, thank you for your time and your attention. I really appreciate you giving it a shot. Today's guests are the founder and president of Pizazz Incorporated. I'm looking forward to this conversation, and I'm sure we'll all be inspired by their story. Let's chop it up with D'Shanty Marshall and Nikki Brown. D'Shanty and Nikki, how y'all doing?
We're good. How are you?
All is well on my end, too. First things first, thank y'all for taking time out of y'all schedule to speak with me a few minutes. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you for having us. We appreciate it. And we may be in unity a lot.
Right.
Because not only are we together with the organization, but we're also some kin. Nikki is my cousin. So, we're going to flow together. And you see how we first started out. We was real. We was in sync. Like it was singing. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Hey, in sync. Hey, I love it. Teamwork made the dream work.
Right.
Yes, ma'am. So, of course, we'll talk about all the great things y'all got going on with Pizazz Incorporated. But before we talk about the organization, let's get to know you ladies. We'll start with the founder, D'Shanty, born and raised in the Gump. How was y'all growing up in the city?
Oh, wow. Well, growing up in Gumptown, it has been a roller coaster ride, let me say that. But I do love my city. I do love the support that the city does give, especially when you are really trying to do something very positive. I grew up in of course, a religious background family. I have ministers, my uncles, and I have aunts who are, pastors. So I am a church girl. I do love the Lord. He is head of my life first and foremost, and I will put him in all things that I incorporate when I'm moving, in the world. So, but I am grew up in church. I have a background where I love music. Our family is very musically inclined. I do sing also. I have been entitled the Songbird of the South, so I do love what I do. I actually sing with a band, and I am on several different platforms. So not only do I advocate for my organization, but I do like to bring love and unity through music. But I grew up went to Sidney Lanier High School. I'm a model. We both poets.
Yes. That's right.
I was a majorette in school. I ran track. I was just in the choir. I did a lot of different things and stayed pretty busy as a little girl. I was always in different talent shows. My mom was a really big part of my life, especially musically. And that's how I actually got into doing what I love to do, which is singing. And we'll go more into detail in reference to my mom because she is the visionary of this organization. So we're just kind of like her moving pieces to kind of, keep her legacy going. But I was born in Ridgecrest. And if you know anything about Deuce Comrades, I don't know if you like rap but, we have a lot of great talent here in Montgomery. Not only just the rappers, but we have great talents from a lot of the musical people who sing, who play instruments. And this city is really good about supporting. So I'm really grateful that we do have the support that we need to push forward, our dreams and our goals, that we're trying to do.
Yes, ma'am. That's powerful, and I appreciate you for sharing some of your background, growing up in the church, and just being in that being in that atmosphere, being around those elders, and of course going to church. You had to you had to act accordingly. Otherwise, mama and grandma was gonna pinch you, take you outside and spank you. So I grew up in the church too, so I can speak to it. I know how it is growing up in the church. Like you develop them life skills that you don't understand at the time. That discipline, that structure, that being on time, that being being in sync. Like I said earlier, just in terms of understanding the church
Yes.
background.
That's
Yes.
right.
And then a family that is just true, a family that prays together, stays together. So we're really big on just praying and keeping God first and foremost in all things. Like we just won't move without Him. You have to be obedient to things that the Scripture says. Obedience is better than sacrifice. So sometimes you have to put aside all of the things that you want to do and do what the Lord said you need to do. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. No doubt. That's spot on. And even the part what you were saying about, your mom keeping you involved in talent shows and keeping you busy and keeping you just in the right environment, like that's so key to just stand out. I'm pretty sure you been in those environments kept you out of trouble because you was always in the right environments and you weren't, running the streets. You was in talent shows and in church. So it it definitely pays off, having that dynamic, like where your parents keep you in the right environments.
Absolutely.
That's right.
And that's very true. It does keep you in the guidance of it keeps you just in the right direction. Because you think about it when you look back over your life as a kid, you think about all of the things that that may have happened back in your time and then versus what the kids are experiencing now. It's just a lot. So I am very much grateful at how it took a village to do it, and the village, they stepped up and they were a big part of it. We could be in our neighborhoods and be outside roller skating, playing hopscotch, jumping rope, playing teacher and things like that. And you had neighbors and things like that would be a part of what you did. They looked out for one another. So the guidance was just really really big and really good during that time. And you prayed, people prayed, they did that. Not saying that it doesn't happen now, but I think that we've lost track of a lot of the things that can keep our youth on the right track, but that's another story.
Y-
um
Yes,
but
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. And that's spot on. Just that village that you speak of. And yeah, that's how I used to be. I mean, I'm an 80s baby. I grew up in the 90s, 2000s, and I got a chance to experience, I got the privilege of experiencing what it's like to have a village, and not just from a perspective of a village of people that's loving on you when you're doing right, but that village of people that can, discipline you when you out of line. Like that's really what the village was. It was all of the above. And a lot of times, if you got disciplined by your village and your parents got wind of it, you got disciplined when you got home. And you know what? I don't look at it. I mean, everybody may look at it differently. I don't view it as abuse. I viewed it as discipline that was needed.
That's right.
That's true. That's very true.
Yes,
Very true.
ma'am. So,
Yeah.
Nikki, how was your upbringing coming up in the Gump?
Coming up in the Gump, sir. Well, it is what it is.
Right.
I'm, a lot of people think being from Alabama, you country. Well, no, I don't know anything about the country. I don't like the country. I've never been to the country. Don't know nothing about it. I am a city girl. So growing up in Montgomery, it was pretty cool. Like Shan said, we come from a very Christian background.
Mhm.
Our family, like she said, does have ministers and singers. We're musically inclined. Like we went to the same church with a lot of us. We was in the choir together. So this thing goes all the way back into childhood. I also grew up in Ridgecrest, but and I also went to Sidney Lanier. We got poets. I think the family is kind of split though. We got them poets and we got them Wolverines. But we won't talk about that. But it was good growing up in Montgomery. Of course, after I went to college, I went to Auburn University. Once I graduated there, I then went to the Air Force.
Mm-hmm.
So I was gone for 20 years, serving the good old United States military for our country.
Yes.
And then I retired and moved back home. And that's when I started helping D'Shanty with the organization. So
Okay,
it
awesome. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, I was just saying it wasn't bad at all. So Montgomery, born and raised.
Mm-hmm.
Hoorah.
Okay, awesome stuff. Well, I definitely want to thank you for your service and our military. Thank you for your service.
Oh, you're welcome. You're
Yes,
welcome.
yes, ma'am. So both of y'all got a chance to grow up in the Crest and attend Sidney Lanier. I think they called it the L back in the day, or
Yeah,
what?
yeah.
Yeah. The L, the castle, hey, all of the above. So that's great that y'all got a chance to grow up in the church and again, just the church within itself had that village. You had the elders in the church, you had everybody in the church that could pinch you, spank you, keep you in line. And it just paid off overall. As you got older, you look back on those times and you just really appreciate just having that village and all that good stuff. So that's great that you both had great upbringings growing up in the Gump. And and I know you just saying, Nikki, that you attended and graduated from Auburn University. So how was that college experience at Auburn for you?
It was good. I actually went to AUM here in Montgomery, so it wasn't bad Oh, it was actually pretty good. So went over there, did my 4 years, came on up out of there.
Yes.
Okay. Hey,
So
good stuff. Hey, you
it
ain't, go ahead. I'm sorry.
it wasn't bad at all. So just thankful that, a lot of people don't have the opportunities that you have. So like you said, your upbringing is very important.
That's true. Very true.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I definitely understand that. You got in and got out 4 years. Hey, you ain't spent an extra year, extra 2 years. You got in and got out, completed the mission. And hey, sounds like you was on top of your game, on top of your schooling.
That's right. That's right.
Good stuff. D'Shanty, how about you? Once you finished up high school at Lanier, did you go college, military, or did you go right to work?
Well, what I did, I tried college. I did college. I went to Alabama State for a semester, and I was like, don't like it. And then I went over to John Patterson Technical College, which is now Trenum, I think that it is now. I did go there, and I did graduate, and with computer science. And I did get back into school. I was actually doing classes for Troy State here in Montgomery. And I have maybe about 5 more classes before I can, get the degree in business administration. So I am really, really thinking about going back in and getting those 5 classes. My daughter was like, "Mama, you can do it. Just do it." So I'm thinking about going ahead to do that, and that'll just be something else really great that I can have under my belt that I can achieve. And so I am definitely doing that. But life took over. I had my daughter when I was 23. So I kind of, when I had her, it just took me out of the element of school and I became a mother. So I needed to, do that. Not that you can't do both, but I wanted to take so much of my time in just being a good mother and raising my daughter. And that took a lot of time. So that's basically what I did. And, hey, and then, I just became like this really good, cool mom and raising a beautiful daughter who is, she's an LPN. She works in the NICU. She takes care of the little babies. And so I think that I did a hell of a good job. I want to say that.
Well, she's an RN now, so she went back. Yep,
yeah, she was an LPN, then she went back and became an RN. So she's a RN now in school, and well, she's graduated from school, but she's working at Baptist and in NICU, so she deals with the babies, and so all of that paid off. Even though I made a few sacrifices to take care of her, I love to see when what you do as a parent does not go in vain. So she's a really great kid, and also the co-founder of this organization. So she's doing really, really well.
And that's so amazing. I appreciate you for sharing your story. And hey, no judgment here. Everybody's journey is different. Like you said, you became a mom, responsibilities changed. So the school trajectory, you had to make a pivot and do what you had to do. And that's what it's all about in life, just figuring out your path and making the adjustments you see best fit for you. And like everybody's path is completely different. Thank you for sharing yours.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes, ma'am. So let's talk about what we're here to talk about. Pink Pizzazz Incorporated. So I'm big into brand names and organization names and just the origins of those names. So I got to ask you, what's the inspiration behind the naming your organization is?
Well, and it's funny because Pink Pizzazz actually is my mother's personality. It is her character. It is the way that she moved, the way that she interacted with people. It just describes her all in a nutshell. She was a 4-time survivor prior to her passing. She was a very jazzy lady. My mother was only 57 years old when she passed, and we lost her to breast cancer in 2015, January 26th of 2015. I will never forget the day. But the pizzazz just really represents her. She was very jazzy. She dressed to the T. She kept her hair laid. Everybody would always say, oh my God, Renee, you have your hair laid. She loved to dress. She loved to look good. And she would always say, you don't have to look like what you're going through. And that's a very big thing because, a lot of the times you really, really, when you look good, it makes you feel good, You could be at your worst, but if you get your hair done or your nails done or, pamper yourself a little bit, treat yourself, give yourself that self-love that you need. It makes you feel good. So the pizzazz just basically represents her. She had a lot of pizzazz, a lot of spunk. She would brighten up a room. When you met her, she never met a stranger, so she would always make herself available to love on people. And that just represents her. Of course, the pink represents, the breast cancer along the color pink. But we wanted to put a little pizzazz with it, because sometimes when people think about cancer, it's not a great thing to think about. But when you can incorporate it with pizzazz, it gives people another way to look at it. So that's just basically in a nutshell where we came up with the name. And I was like, okay, pink pizzazz. Yeah. That's very befitting to represent the visionary, and not only represent my mother, but represent the way that we move concerning this vision, because we love some razzle dazzle over here. Okay.
Oh, yes.
We love it. You ever have a lot of,
you can never have too much bling. You can never have too much glitter. You can never have too much razzle or the dazzle.
Absolutely. And even when if you want to get biblical, they would bring gold and silver.
Yep.
Hey, and when you think about those things, it makes you light up. Even money. So we would put all of that in a category. Or when you see diamonds or rubies and things like that, that's pizzazz. So we like to make people think about that when they're thinking about this deadly disease, but not the bad part of it, but just the overcoming it.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. And that's so powerful, just how the name came about. And definitely sending my condolences to you for the loss of your mom. Definitely appreciate you for carrying on her legacy and just the pizzazz that represented her personality and just who she was. And I put two and two together when I was doing my due diligence, when I was looking on the Facebook page, and I saw her picture as the cover photo. So I kind of put two and two together in terms of, the visionary behind the organization. And hey, mom was fresh. Mom used to have it on. I see mom used to be fresh. I see it. Okay. So I definitely understand the pizzazz part, just looking at the picture. So hats off to you. And like I said, again, I offer my condolences, and hats off to you for carrying on her legacy.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. It's definitely a job, but it's a job that I absolutely love to do. It gives my heart great joy to push forward her legacy and the things that she was doing prior to her passing. And then, like I said, we just keep it going, and we're going to keep it going until we can't do it anymore. And that will probably be when we're with the Lord.
Yeah.
Right.
With the Lord.
Okay, absolutely. So just in terms of the efforts and the initiatives that the organization is leading or a part of, like, give me a better understanding of just in terms of what Pink Pizzazz Incorporated got going on.
Okay, well, the efforts, first of all, that the organization does, we celebrate the life of breast cancer survivors. So we bring awareness with our events, but what we mainly do is focus on survivorship. So we have an annual Pink Carpet Affair that we have every year, where we actually honor and celebrate the lives of the breast cancer survivors that are still here. During the program, we also honor we call them our fallen angels, because, some people do pass away from the illness, but we still honor them as well and their families. Should someone pass during the year where we actually have our Pink Carpet Affair. So that's mainly what we do, is celebrate the lives of breast cancer survivors. So all of the survivors that are, a part of our program, like we had a women's retreat. Was that last year? No, year before last, where we took breast cancer survivors on a retreat because, like my aunt said, you don't have to look like what you're going through. So we basically focus on setting up things so that the survivors can still do that self-care that they need for themselves. Battling a terminal disease, or a disease that can be terminal, is hard. And so sometimes people forget, I might need to focus on me a little bit and not succumb to, making everything about the disease. Because my aunt used to say, I may have cancer, but cancer does not have me.
Absolutely.
So that's the first and foremost initiative that we focus on with the organization. Mm-hmm. Second thing we focus on is we like to give back to the community. So we definitely do things where we can pass along blessings to cancer survivor families. Like during the holidays last year, we did because it's around Thanksgiving time as well, we built Thanksgiving Day baskets and gave them out to, some of the families that really needed them. Because, survivors, when they're going through chemo and radiation and all these different, what do you call that? Treatments.
The treatments.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the treatments. They don't feel like getting there cooking for Thanksgiving, but you got to eat.
Yeah.
Right.
We put the baskets together and, gave those out to them. And, sometimes missing work is definitely something that they have to do. So around the Christmas holidays, we just, bought a lot of toys and we donated to different families that needed them for the kids. Because, a lot of people don't really understand what all goes with this disease. It affects their livelihood. Yeah. So, bills get tight, money gets tight. It's just a whole lot of things. So we tried to be there for them, like all around,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And even in ways that other people wouldn't typically, think of. So, and of course, when we go out to speak for different engagements, we do try to, talk about the importance of doing your own self breast exams, going to the doctor mm-hmm. when something doesn't feel right, being your advocate for your health care. Because, nowadays, these people are trying to shuffle you in and out the door at the doctor's office. Right. It's all about the more people we see, the more money we can make by billing insurance companies. So we just try to encourage everyone to have a voice, to be an advocate for themselves, and then to be there for them the best way that we can.
And then also make them understand that they're not alone. The difference, with us, because of course there are so many different organizations, nonprofit as we are, a lot of people are doing so many different things. And sometimes people will say, well, what sets you aside from this organization? Well, with us, because we like to have personal encounters with the survivors, we like to do things aside from just our, charitable events that we do with them. We have wellness checks. We personally have each and every one of the survivors' contact informations that come to our events. And we have over 40, sometimes 50 survivors who attend our event. And so we connect with them. We do wellness checks. We'll check on them. We even have some of them who say, we want to go out and eat, or are you ladies going to come to the house and and sit with us? We so we want to be able to just be up close and personal, not just be an organization where we don't know half of our ladies, our sheroes that we like to call them. We like to be in just in close connection with them. We like to make it very personal. And when we're with them, it feels good to know that I can pick up the phone and call any one of them right now and say, hey, how you doing? What you doing? You want to go to lunch? You want to go to dinner? Or, just stuff like that. And, love on them, because a lot of times, something that really, really made me feel so good about what I do, because I can remember being at some of the treatments with my mom. And I used to go and I would be at the cancer center with her. And it was a lot of people that were there that didn't have anybody with them. Going through those treatments and you're there alone, I could feel the sadness. I could see the sadness on some of their faces. And I can remember even when my mom went and I would go with her, she would love on people, even walking in the door. Hey, how y'all doing? And would just love on them and hug them. And I would, do the same, because I know that I was there with my mom, but just imagine how many people that were there and they didn't have anybody. So sometimes I would even sit with others and just, love on them the same way that I would do my mom, because, that stuff is needed. You don't really know how important it is just to let somebody know that they're not alone, not alone with this. And sometimes just a friendly hug, or just praying with them, or just offering anything, any type of assistance or help. You would be surprised at the little things that matter the most to these women.
And that's so powerful, and I appreciate you all just giving just an overview of the initiatives that you all are heading and just pouring into with Pink Pizazz Incorporated. Everything from the Pink Carpet Affair that you all spoke about, also hearing you all talk about just delivering those meals during the holiday season to help out those cancer survivors who may not be up to cooking for the family and doing all that laboring over the stove because hey, I know Thanksgiving that's a full-time job. I Thanksgiving and Christmas and cooking and all that good stuff. And also the last part y'all said about just about reaching out and just connecting with people who've benefited from the organizations. Like it's more than just us pouring into you. We still want to check on you and make sure you're doing all right and just be a listening ear versus just being a nonprofit that just gives away and moves on to the next person. Just the fact that you all do reach back out to the people that you all have serviced, and that's just great. I mean, that's just a lot of great initiatives Pink Pizzazz Incorporated got going on, and I mean, it's just a blessing to be able to be a blessing to others.
Absolutely. And it gives our heart great joy because we are continuing a legacy that started from what my mom was originally doing anyway. It's nothing far-fetched from what she started. When we originally started this thing, it was basically just us. She wanted to celebrate her life at the time because at that time she was a two-time survivor when we originally started this. And it wasn't called a Pink Carpet Affair. It didn't even have a name. It was just her wanting to celebrate life. She came home from one of her treatments and she said, look, I've battled this thing for the second time. God has been good to me. Everything is going well. And she said, I'm still here. I still have life. And she said, and I want to celebrate life. And she said, just call family and friends together. If you can get something together for me. And I just want to have a good time. I want to dance. I want to sing. I want to, fellowship. I want to eat. And I just want to celebrate. And, thus far, the Pink Carpet Affair was born based off of something that my mom wanted to do. And now, it has grown to be this really huge thing because, even when we did it for her back then, after we got so many positive response from it, everybody was saying, it was beautiful. You guys just need to do something else. And then it was just us doing it with her family and friends. But my mom said, well, let's do it. Let's see if we can do this every year. And then, let's incorporate other survivors so we can celebrate life together. And I was like, Mom, that's beautiful. You wanted, you're not even being selfish about this thing. You're not even being selfish to celebrate your life. You want to join and connect with other survivors so you ladies can celebrate life together. How beautiful is that for someone to have that type of heart? That's why I tell people when it comes down to my mother, she was phenomenal. And, most people may say that about their mom, but I'm definitely one of her biggest advocates because she walked the walk. She uplifted people. It just wasn't about her. And even in her, and during her worst days when she wasn't feeling her best, she was still pour into somebody else. And I just thought that was just so amazing, for her to do something so beautiful, so powerful, so meaningful, and just so blessed, and why not represent her in the best way? So we have to continue to keep this legacy going because she fought too hard for us not to.
Yeah.
And that's so powerful. Just hearing you, talk about your mom and just how she lived life to the fullest up until the very end and didn't look at this disease and turn bitter and turn into this person like, hey, I'm going through this like I'm going through these trials and tribulations, so I'm just gonna be mean to everybody around me. Like I think it's so beautiful that she was going through this deadly disease and going through these trials and tribulations and still wanted to live life and still wanted to celebrate life with those other survivors. And yeah, I mean that's phenomenal. I mean that's really, to me, that's really that's just powerful. I mean, like, cause I couldn't imagine, and I can't, and hypothetically speaking, you don't know what you don't know, but that's real strength to really be going through that and to still want to
Yes.
pour into others and be a blessing to others. Like that's real strength. And I don't know, myself included, I don't know if I would have that level of strength. So hats off to your mom and God rest her soul.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
And I feel you on that. I'm her, I'm her I'm a part of her. And I sometimes don't even feel like I could have that strength. But somebody did make me aware of something that really stuck with me. They said it is a beautiful thing when you still can lose your mom to this disease and still celebrate the lives of other women who are still living from that.
Yeah.
And I sat and I thought about that thing and I was like, whoa. But that it gives my heart so much joy to do it because I feel like I'm representing her.
Yeah, she would want us
She
to.
will want us to do that,
Yeah.
And at some point, when she did pass, I felt like I could not push forward and do it. I was like, how can I do? I can't do this. I can't do it. And I remember, going to sleep one night, and I was like, I don't even know how I'm going to push forward and just make this thing happen. My mom is not here anymore. This is going to be so hard. And it was so beautiful. It was like I had a dream, and it was like the Lord kind of woke me up out of the dream, and He told me that you're going to be able to do this. And He said that what you need to do is everything that you have been doing from the past few years with this event, you start incorporating or bringing all these things back to memory on what we did to push forward. And somebody said that it's mandatory, you have to do it, it's like you got to. And so I said okay. And I can remember just waking up out of my sleep and I started just writing down all of the things that needed to take place that following year. Now, I keep in mind, my cousin Nikki, she wasn't a part at the time because she was actually away still. But it was my sisters and myself and my daughter, and we were just trying to figure out like how we could do it. And what happened was we just continued to just move forward, the way that she would want us to do. And I feel like if I don't do it, then it would just make me feel like I'm kind of letting her down, if I can say that. So and then to be able to join forces with my cousin, and then so many other people who love to help and do whatever they need to do. People will volunteer. We have people calling and say, well, what y'all need? What do you want us to do? Hey, we love y'all, and we love what y'all doing, and we don't mind being a part of this great movement. And so it's a blessing to be able to have to be able to pull from the strength of others to get through each and every year.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's so powerful. And that is strength that you have to carry on your mother's legacy and continue to, spearhead the organization, and continue to put on these pink carpet affairs. Yeah, that's true strength as well. Whoever told you that, like, that definitely was spot on because, again, if I had to carry on something like that, I don't know if I would have the strength to do it. So hats off to you for having that strength that you definitely sounds like you got that strength and got that pizzazz, no pun intended, from your mom to just continue to carry on and live life and, just carry out her legacy. And that's a beautiful thing.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am. So Nikki, I got to ask you, like, I know you was away from using the military and serving our country and doing all that great stuff. So what was it about the Pink Pizzazz Incorporated movement that drew you in to want to come be a part of the organization?
Well, I hate to toot my own horn, but my aunt's favorite. Okay.
Okay.
That out there. Not to say she didn't have other favorites, but I was the number one favorite. And
Okay.
I know you're laughing, but I'm for real. I mean, they don't want to tell you this, but your family be having favorites,
I got you.
That one for her because when I was growing up, Shannon and I are 4 years apart. Mm-hmm. So when I was growing up, my aunt spent like a lot of time at my mom's house because my mom and Shannon's mom, they're sisters. Mm-hmm. So she spent a lot of time, at my mom's house because for whatever, I think my mom is like, first of all, it was 10 of them.
Yeah.
So, so it was 10 siblings. And like I said, Shannon's mom and my mom was sisters. So it was 6 girls and 4 boys. Mm-hmm. And I think my mama was the one, how you got that one that all the siblings go to for stuff. Mm-hmm. So my mama ended up being that one out of the 10.
Yes.
And so we spent a lot of time together, especially when, I was little. I remember being with my aunts like a lot, her and another one of my uncles who recently passed this year in February from cancer as well. But so I was their favorite. So Shan and I would be together so much. So she thought I was her sister before her sisters actually came along.
Right.
And the day that my aunt told her that I was her cousin, child, she started screaming and hollering and crying, talking about she's not kin to me anymore. And her like, she's your cousin. Yes, she is. And so she was screaming to me, but she's not my sister. Oh no. So
devastation.
Exactly.
Devastation was upon me.
So my aunt and I were very, very close. So like I said, it was just it there was just no other thing that I wasn't going to do. So yeah, as soon as I came back, like I said, Shannon and I was close growing up. And naturally I'm like, okay, I'm here. What we got going on? What we doing? And she was like, you gonna help, thank God.
Yes.
So it just wasn't, there was no other thing for me not to do because, my mom was my mom and my aunt was my aunt, and I loved her, just as much as I love my mom because our family is just that close. So, yeah.
Love to hear it. I love to hear the family dynamic where siblings and cousins are close, and it definitely hearing you just talk about, just growing up and being being your auntie's favorite, your uncle's favorite, everybody's favorite. Hey, no judgment. I wasn't there. I take your word for it. So that's great that you all had that great family dynamic and that you came on board and are serving as the president of this organization. And I mean, hey, y'all doing a lot of great things and family. Hey, y'all are debunking the myth that family can't work together. I love to see it.
Yeah, that's true. That is true because one thing about us three and people, and I think that's why a lot of people are drawn to us and want to help us is because they see how well we work together. And they're like, you know what? These girls, they get in there and they get stuff done. Like they ain't playing no games and they just want to be a part of that. If it's chaotic and disorganized, don't nobody want to be a part of that. So the fact of us being organized the way that we are and us being, moving in excellence the way that we do, because that's the only way we know. If you're going to do it and you got to do it right. Other than that, we just don't operate by anything else. Like our entire family moves that way. So we're all taught, you move with the spirit of excellency, period, yes. The end.
That's it. We can't move any other way.
Yes.
We know that God is not the author of confusion.
That's right.
We don't like to dip and dab in confusion. If it is chaotic, we move ourselves away from it.
That's right.
Even when it comes down to connecting people to us that have the heart of the vision, have our hearts.
That's right.
And have the heart of the vision, because, we can't expect everybody to have the heart of what's actually going on, because some people didn't experience it.
Right.
But if you have the heart for the vision, then you understand the assignment and you can help execute it. And that is what we are about. And anybody that does not want to operate in that realm, then we just can't be a part.
We don't operate with
them.
That's so awesome that you all have that standard operating in excellence and staying away from chaos and confusion. And again, like I said, just that family dynamic is so rare that I speak to, or even I'm even around people that work with family. I mean, myself included. I just that experience of being able to work with family and like trusting them and everybody operating on the same wavelength. That's not necessarily my experience, but I love this y'all's experience, and y'all are setting a great example of what it looks like when family come together on one accord, operating in excellence, no confusion, no games, no gimmicks, and I just have no doubt that you all are going to continue to do great things with the organization because y'all operate with excellence.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And we appreciate that even for you too. and I know you don't physically see us, but you can hear.
Right.
Right.
And this is just all the time. And don't get me wrong, it's three of us. So sometimes we may have different opinions, but for the most part, we all are on one accord with it. And even though if our decisions are different, we still agree to disagree, and we're going to agree still on whatever it needs to be agreed upon, and we move forward. We won't try to ponder on it too long. The only time we may need to ponder is if we got to go into some serious prayer.
Right.
We have to do that sometimes. Because, when you're doing some really great things and you're moving in righteousness, especially about, the actual thing, the enemy will try to come every which way he can to kill, steal, and destroy what you're trying to do. So we do have to, and, this sounds cliche to say prayed up, but we definitely have to do that. And we have to make sure that we intercede and pray heaven down, as Nikki would say, concerning things, because he doesn't like we're moving this way. He'll try to come in and cause confusion and chaos, but we get it right on out the door, because we don't function. We cannot function well with chaos. We just can't do it. And we don't take
it a mile away.
Absolutely. And we don't take any mess. We're very sweethearted people. We love, we show love, we give love, but we are very firm in things. And if somebody coming with some foolishness,
we shut it down.
We shut it all the way down.
Right. As y'all should. And that's, hey, confusion, any chaos, hey, shut it down. You can take that somewhere else. I definitely understand that. And that's how you have to be. You have to be firm. Even that piece, what you all was just talking about, agreeing to disagree. I mean, on any team you work on, any team you work with, there's going to be difference of opinions. But the great thing about what y'all just said is y'all come together and y'all work things out, even when y'all have difference of opinion. That's the key. It's not about, okay, you think this way, I think that way. Let's argue, let's fuss, let's go our separate ways. No, let's figure out how we can find some common ground and get to the end goal. That's what it's about.
That's what it's about.
And that's exactly what we say. We say, well, okay, then we all disagree on that, but how we going to get this done?
Exactly.
And we come up with a plan on how we're going to get it done.
That's it.
Exactly. And that's what it's about, finding those solutions, figuring out how to get it done. And I mean, no matter what, always figuring, because it's always a way to get it done. You just got to calm down, take a deep breath, sort things out, come with some logic and just iron things out and make it happen.
That's right. That's it. That's so. And we definitely believe in doing that, because like Fantasia say, we might be here for what she said.
What you say?
I'm here for I'm not here for a long time.
Yeah, I'm not here for a long time, but I'm here for a good time.
Absolutely.
But we try not to stay. We try not to stay too long with it. We in and out of it, Because at the end of the day, we know that we have to.
Oh, I'm here for a good time, not a long time.
There it is. There it is. Notice.
And I would sing it right.
No, that's awesome. And that's the mindset to have, and that's good stuff. So you all have done great things with the organization, and I know great things are going to continue to happen for the organization. So let's talk about goals, short term and long term, for the organization. You feel comfortable sharing?
I tell you what, a short-term goal for the organization. Do we have short-term? Well, all of our short-term goals are our fundraisers that we do, because we are a nonprofit organization. So we have to fundraise in order to make things happen for the survivors. So all of our short-term goals are always our next fundraiser. Now, we've already come up with our 4 for 2026. We've already laid them out. So what we need, as we always need, as a short-term goal, because we work on this daily, everyone to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. It's Pink Pizazz Incorporated on Facebook and Instagram. Follow us there so you all can know what's going on. So short-term goals, we always need everyone to please come out and support the fundraisers that we are going to be presenting, especially in the upcoming year. Our long-term goal is to get sponsorship. So for anyone listening to this broadcast and you would like to help Pink Pizazz Incorporated continue to help breast cancer survivors, please call us reach out to us, DM us, however you want to contact us. Like I said, it's D'Shanty Marshall. She's on Facebook. I'm Nikki Brown on Facebook. Pink Pizazz Incorporated has a page on Facebook, and we both have pages on Instagram. We need sponsorships. So any car dealerships, any bakeries, any stores, Walmart. If you're the manager at Walmart or the person over that checkbook at Walmart, anybody who hears us radio station, who hears this podcast, and you want to help support this organization, our long-term goal is sponsorship, to increase our sponsorship and get more sponsors. So, and we always aim to always show recognition. That is always a short-term and long-term goal for us, for our sponsors, because we have some amazing sponsors in the city.
We do.
And we always let them know how much we appreciate them. So,
and our sponsorships for the ones that we've had for several years, they've been rocking with us for so many years. And it is a beautiful thing when they are so eager to pour into the organization, because, you know, like Nikki said, it's people love to see where their dollars and cents go, and we're good stewards over the finances. We want to make sure that we do things in the best way, and, you know, let people know how their money is being spent. But, you know, of course, it is very, you know, it's costly what we try to provide for the city of Montgomery, along with our beautiful sheroes. You know, it does cost. So it's a really, really important thing that we can get more sponsorship and more donations, no matter how big or small. We also have our new Cash App tag. That, you know, if people decide that they would like to just pour into this organization, it doesn't have to be around Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Sometimes people, I guess the hype of it, and everybody just kind of want to be like, okay, you know, what can we do for this organization? Or what can we do for that organization? You know, we want to do things year round. So we don't want to have to wait on any funding around that time. You know, if people can start pouring in right away, that would be a blessing, no matter how big or small. And the Cash App tag is Pink Pizazz Inc. 1. So yeah, that's the Cash App tag, just for the listeners out there. If you feel it in your heart and the Lord has put something in your spirit to put something in this organization, you know, please feel free to put towards any of that to our Cash App. We accept donations daily. And everything that we do, we are doing it in the name of my mother. Her name is Renee Brown. She is the visionary behind this beautiful organization. And, you know, we just want to keep doing what we have been doing because this was our 14th year. Can you believe? I can't even believe 14 years just to even say that. It's amazing that we've been, you know, moving and pushing through all of these years. So we're looking forward to many, many, many more. As a good friend of mine said, we're looking forward to us forward.
That's right.
And we're going to keep just doing everything that we can do to make our survivors feel beautiful, because our motto is to conquer the fight and stay beautiful.
That's powerful. Those are powerful goals, short term, long term. And I have no doubt y'all continue to y'all will rack up those sponsorships, and y'all will do well in all your fundraising efforts, and everything Pink Pizazz Incorporated touch. It will continue to turn to gold.
Oh, yes.
Thank you. We received that.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
We appreciate that.
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. As we wrap up the podcast, I want to ask $1 million question. So I started this podcast because I wanted to highlight the greatness connected to the city of Montgomery. Whether you were born here or lived here for a significant period of your life, be it college, military, or work, you both being hometown heroes. I got to ask you both, what do y'all appreciate the most about the city of Montgomery?
Just appreciate the love that people show whenever you are doing something as what we're doing now. The love and the support. I do appreciate that from the city of Montgomery. I really do.
Yes, and I was going to say the same thing. The love, you know, because people up north, not nothing against the folks up north, but they're not friendly. You know, I don't know if that's a talk thing or whatever it is. But what we appreciate about the city of Montgomery is the love, because they definitely show us the love. And that's with the organization or individually, because
Yes.
D'Shanty is the songbird. Like she sings with the band. So that's her business on the side. She's the songbird of the South. And then I myself is the bougie bacon baddie.
Yes.
So I have my own home bakery. So one thing about it is the support and the love of the people of Montgomery. They do that. They're top tier with that. So that's what we love about the Gump.
Absolutely.
Yes,
That's
ma'am. Oh, go ahead.
one.
I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying that's really one of the biggest things. Just the love and support that we are shown in the city of Montgomery is amazing, and I would not trade it for the world. So I appreciate that from Gumptown, especially being born and raised here. It is a beautiful thing to see the city of Montgomery. The people really come out and support.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Powerful stuff. And you've already shared the social media handles, Facebook and IG. I'll be sure to put that as well as the Cash App tag in the description of the episode. Hey, D'Shanty, Nikki, I thank y'all for giving me a few minutes of your time. I really enjoyed the conversation.
Thank you for having us. We appreciate you. And thank you for what you do. Thank you for providing this beautiful platform for people like us to share what we're doing and advocate for the things that mean a lot to us. So thank you so much for having us, and we appreciate you.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Good people, that concludes another dope episode of the Gumptown Podcast. In the meantime, in between time, y'all know what to do. Be blessed, be safe, but most importantly, have the audacity to be you.